are from Group The Future Directors, and today we will be presenting our analysis for Assignment 2 on the topic of rape and other sexual offences, as covered in Chapter 5 of Introduction to Criminal Law. Okay, first, the objective of our presentation is to provide a clear understanding of what constitutes rape under the law, distinguish it from the other sexual offences, and compare the legal position in the key jurisdictions, specifically focusing on English and Malaysian law. To begin, it is important to understand the basic legal elements of the offence. Legally, rape is an offence against a person. The crucial distinction is not all sexual intercourse amounts to rape. The constitute rape. Two core elements must be present: the actor's use or the physical act of the penetration by the male sexual organ into the female sexual organ, and the mens rea or the necessary intention. However, the single most defining factor is the absence of the woman consent.
Our study of English law highlights two cases. First, R.V. Kemplin. In this case, the accused exploited a 13 years old victim by administering a significant amount of alcohol, causing her to become insensible. The court held the consent cannot be formed if the victim is insensible, as she is physically incapable of giving it. Second, R.V. Fletcher dealt with a woman of subnormal intelligence, raising complex questions about her capacity to consent, a fundamental issue in many sexual offense cases. Moving to the Malaysian jurisdiction, rape is primarily governed by the Penal Code, specifically Section 375, while the core definition of penetration without consent remains similar to the common law roots. The Malaysian law contains specific clauses detailing when the consent is considered invalid, such as under fear of death or based on a misapprehension of fact. We now transition to the category of other sexual offences, which are crucial for addressing acts that fall short of full penetration but are equally criminal. First is outrage modesty, example Section 354, which is involve assault or use of criminal force with the intention to outrage a person's modesty. Second, the serious offense of child grooming, which is conduct aimed at establishing a connection with a child for the purpose of sexual exploitation. This offense highlights the law's proactive measure to protect vulnerable persons.
Now, I'll move on to offense 3 and to offense 4, which are buggery and carnal intercourse against the order of nature. So first, buggery. Traditionally, buggery is a common law offense that refers to sexual acts considered unnatural, which historically included sodomy and bestiality. Under common law, this offense criminalized sexual acts that did not involve natural vaginal intercourse between a man and a woman. The key element of this offense is the nature of the act itself, rather than the consent. Even if the consent was present, the act could still be considered unlawful under traditional interpretations. Second, carnal intercourse against the order of nature. In Malaysian law, this offense is governed under Section 377 of the Penal Code. This provision criminalizes sexual intercourse that is considered against the order of nature, which includes anal intercourse and oral sexual acts. So the actus reus of this act is the act of penetration in a manner considered unnatural under the law, while the mens rea is the intention of to perform the act. Unlike rape, lack of consent is not the primary focus here. Instead, the offense focuses on the type of sexual act performed, regardless of whether the parties consented. Next, offense 5, sexual connection using object. This offense addresses situations where a person uses a non-sexual object to penetrate another person's body for sexual purposes. Traditional rape laws often focused only on penetration by a male sexual organ. As a result, acts involving objects were not always clearly covered. The purpose of introducing this offense is to close that legal gap, ensuring that victims are protected even when the assault does not involve traditional sexual intercourse. So this reflects the law's evolution in recognizing that sexual violence can occur in many forms, not just those defined under older legal frameworks. To conclude, rape and other sexual offenses are defined by specific legal elements, with consent being the central factor in rape cases. However, as we have seen, other offenses such as outrage of modesty, child grooming, buggery, and sexual connection using objects focus on different aspects, including the nature of the act and the protection of vulnerable individuals. The evolution of sexual offense laws shows the importance of clear and comprehensive legal frameworks to ensure justice and protection against all forms of sexual violence. Thank you for listening.